Okay, back out here with the Ariens snowblower project, and in the previous video I had determined that that valve guide had been floating up and down inside the head and had hogged out the head in a way that it's never going to really stay put again. So I now have this and those tools to get this thing going again. Let's get to it. So in this case, on this day, I went with the original cylinder head, Briggs branded. This one happens to be 799859. I understand some people like unboxing videos. I don't think I'll ever understand why, but here you go. Spacer, gaskets, probably rocker arms, new head, no telling why, but all new bolts. I guess they figure you're going to snap some, which is nice to have them in case you did snap some. Let's see what was in here. Oh yeah, all our rocker arms. Rocker arm bolts with Loctite already applied. Do appreciate that. Good. Most importantly, I need to look it over and compare it before I go installing anything. Make sure we got the right one here. Make sure I ordered the right one. Make sure they sent the right one. In case you wanted to see what was in here, we got looks like two different kinds of head gaskets. We'll use the original kind, whatever was on there, and then of course the valve cover gasket. As well as some instructions. Probably our carburetor and exhaust gaskets. And something that I spent about half the day today looking for, I literally spent over an hour looking for, comes in the kit, which is the head bolt inch pounds and tightening sequence, which I could find almost nowhere, and here it is, right? It came right in the kit that I already owned. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, at least I can confirm my numbers that I found online. Alright, so let's just look it over, kind of get it sitting similar way. 4 bolts, good. Got a bolt for that bracket, one on the side, good. Just kind of comparing where all the exhaust manifold bolts are. Those are threaded already, which is good. 2 on the top, spark plug in the middle, good. 1 down there, 1 down there. Yeah, I'm looking at the valve guides even though it's brand new. Makes you suspicious when something happens. They already got the valves pre-installed, which is nice. And everything looks beautiful. Nice machining throughout. Nice and clean. I think we got the right head here. Good. Alright, I'm going to do the swap on the exhaust first. Actually, before I even do that, because it's going to tip as soon as I put this on there, I'm going to build this head up. First. So let's start by just putting these valves together. That is a super long screw. I guess they want full engagement on that one. Wow. Screw, bolt. Don't get technical on me. Don't you do it. And I had this socket out that fit that, and have laid it down somewhere that would be easy to grab. Bring it back. Found the socket. I'm just driving these for now. I am not torquing these. I never noticed how high those were up. Well, the other ones were bent when I got it, that's why. I was wondering why those screws were so crazy long. They have to be. Looked way longer than they needed to be, but those posts are quite long on the pivot. Just for giggles, I'll put these in for now, because they gave me brand new ones with Loctite. That's what's nice about buying OEM stuff, is it comes with the way they would have done it at the factory, instead of the way the knockoff folks thought they did it at the factory, which is with Loctite. So your oil, you know, it's a valve cover, no big deal, right? But what if the valve cover comes loose, your oil goes out while you're not looking, and you blow your engine? You're going to blame them. So with Loctite, how about that? Alright. I just wanted to get whatever little work I could do with it laying flat on cardboard, and also don't lay your head on anything but cardboard or something soft. You will mar up the surface. You could embed rocks or whatever you might have, debris, into your new head, and you want to be awfully careful about that. This is Torx. Your best bet's going to be with a mini impact driver. Oh, beautiful. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that came out. I was expecting a fight. Into aluminum. Wow. That reminds me of something that doesn't happen very often. So I'm looking through the gaskets they gave me, and the one I'm going to use on the exhaust is this one. It's the silvery, it's got kind of a silvery, greasy feeling to it, whereas the other ones are just standard gasket material, which would tell me they're for much lower temperatures, likely the carburetor and carburetor spacer side. So we'll go with that. And as far as which direction it goes, I'm guessing it goes in this direction. No other direction. Actually, let me line those holes up. That makes sense to me. To maybe grab some of the air that's coming over and directing it down. You know, blocking it. I don't know. It could go, you know, that way. It doesn't really fit. It's bending. Backwards. I don't see that they're going to make you bend it there. Backwards up. No. The only way it makes sense and it lays right is just like that. So that's what we're going to do with the new bolts. Even though those came out beautifully, if it does have new bolts for that, we will be using them. And it does. Just like the originals. Take my scraper here, get this gasket off, the old one. One piece, really? Scrape that off clean. Try to get everything lined up here. I just pushed it down a little bit just to get this one lined up the best it can. I don't have that bolt here, it's with the machine. And I'm sure everything has a torque spec, but stuff like that I don't worry too much. The very most important ones are going to, on this job, are going to be the cylinder head bolts themselves, because that's giving you the proper crush on your compression gasket. So as far as the carburetor goes, I need to take these are small hex at the end here, and the whole stud comes out. That's what's securing that. I'm going to try not to break it here so I don't have to replace that gasket. Just more cleaning and stuff that's unnecessary. It's sealed. Start by taking these posts out. Now, just because I think these might have a chance to strip out, they're very tiny heads here. I'm going to do it by hand. Oh, they come out beautifully. Wow, so lucky on this machine. After this stuff's been in there a while, you just never know what you're going to deal with. If it's going to be just completely seized or give up beautifully like that. That was just, I mean, that's just butter. I can't even believe it. Probably because it was overheated so badly, all the gaskets have been baked. This one here's in my way. That's the only reason I'm bothering with it. Then I'm going to try to just, there we go. It only released the gasket I wanted. See, the other gasket is still in place. No reason to take it off. There's absolutely none. That way we only have to scrape one. We only have to replace one. Easy. Now here's something that's a bit curious. In the kit, it came with these, which is 2 sizes of the longer ones and 2 sizes of the shorter ones. And I just noticed that that's these, which is for the carburetor. I didn't know that. Obviously this kit fits several engines, so they give you both sizes. But mine is a different size yet, even taller than the first. So I'm going to put the original ones back in, because I know they're going to make the length and air cleaner, air screen, everything proper. Whereas these, I don't know if that little bit of 1/4 inch or 3/8 of an inch will make a difference, but we're not going to test to see. While I've got the other gasket still on there, I'm going to see which of these gaskets is the right one. Yeah, it looks like that one for sure. Okay, good. Just to make sure we got the right one before we scrape it. I'm just going to start here. This one looks rock hard. It might come off as a whole. Nope. That part there just started giving away. Just trying not to cut myself. Yeah, that part stayed behind. This is only plastic, so let's not get too aggressive. I'm trying to use a little bit of a slicing motion and keep my hand out of the way at the same time. If you notice, a lot of folks use gasket sealer on everything. If you notice, the factory didn't. If they needed to, they would use it. There is plenty of thickness of gasket there to make up any kind of differences you might have between those mating surfaces. Good. Nice pre-threaded holes, as we would expect. Put our gasket on. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to finish scraping this gasket. Because I could get around where the bolts go through right now, but not later. And some of that looks like gasket, that's just corrosion, or like dirty area where the gasket was smushed. It's not really sticking up, if it looks like it is. That piece almost went in the carb. Alright, now I'm ready. I said I was ready before. And this appears to have an arrow on it, in case you did take yours off. Maybe it's funneled down or something, or maybe it's round to oval, I think. Just be cognizant of that. Always start stuff into aluminum. Start it by hand. Don't try with your wrench. It doesn't take much to get it off center. And again, there would be a torque spec to find somewhere on these. That's about where I'm going with mine. By the way, the socket I was using there, 3/32. Quite a very rare breed unless you have a old school set. You may not have that one. You may have to grab this with pliers and bugger them up. Okay, so for today I'm stopping here because I simply don't have the push rods yet because they haven't been shipped to me.